Hi, my name's Isaac, and this is a Ferrari Roma, and today I'm going to review it for you guys. Take a good long hard look at this car because this is the peak of my channel. It's not going to get any better than this. This is the coolest car I will ever review. It's all downhill from here. Next week is like a Jeep Grand Cherokee or something.
Before we begin, I want to give an absolutely massive shout out to Algar Ferrari of Philadelphia for allowing me to review this Roma. For all your Ferrari needs, you can go to algarferrari.com. I'll leave a link in the description below.
Starting out up front on the Roma, you're going to get parking sensors right here, your Ferrari badge, and then above that you have another Ferrari badge. Obviously you have full LED headlights on this. It'd be kind of weird if it had halogens. I really like the swooping design of these headlights. One thing I don't particularly like is the integration of the radar guided cruise control. I think they could have done that a little bit better on this front end, but overall it looks absolutely gorgeous. If I had to compare it to anything, I'd say it has the swooping lines of Ferrari with a little bit of inspiration on the front grille from Aston Martin. Moving underneath the hood in the Roma, it is powered by a 3.9-liter V8 twin turbo, making 612 horsepower and 760 Newton meters of torque. It has a max speed of 200 miles per hour and a 0 to 62 in 3.4 seconds, as well as a 0 to 124 in 9.3 seconds. I'm cheating. There's a placard behind the camera that lists all the specs on this car, but listen, I never get a placard behind the camera that lists the specs on the car. Let me use this. Moving on to the profile of the Roma, you get these absolutely gorgeous Ferrari wheels on here with your Ferrari brakes integrated into them. Interestingly, no Ferrari shield on the side of this Roma. This is a concept car, I should mention, so it's not the full production model yet, so it's unknown if we're actually going to get the Ferrari shield on the side right there. You do get your turn signal indicator right here though, and then you'll have a mirror cap, obviously it's body colored, and then it'll have your blind spot monitoring integrated into it. And then this is my favorite part thus far on the car, on the exterior. I love these door handles. So these door handles are fully electronic, but how they work is basically you put your hand in and then you push up on this latch and that completely unlocks the door. Another really cool detail on the side of this Ferrari Roma is the key fob. So this is the first Ferrari to have an all-new key fob that is completely wireless. So it's completely keyless entry. You just have it in your pocket and you lock the car with this button, and then you would unlock it by just having the key in your pocket. So that's really, really cool. It locks, unlocks, and then it also pops the trunk. I really like this leather design as well. Before we fully move to the back of the car, I did notice the one thing my Toyota Tacoma has in common with this Ferrari Roma is that the windows were made in Pilkington. I don't know if that's a company or a place, but they sure seem to make a lot of windows, so there's the one thing my pickup truck has in common with this ultra luxurious Ferrari. Moving to the back of the Roma, it is gorgeous back here. I love the swooping lines. Ferrari did an excellent job when they created this car. The craftsmanship is so detailed on the entire car here, but the back just looks so aggressive, very sharp. You get your Ferrari badge and then Ferrari spelled out above that on the glass. Down here you get quad exhaust, and then above that the lower bumper portion is wrapped in carbon fiber with your parking sensors. I really like that added touch right there. And then moving here you do have your backup camera, and then hitting this button right here, that's going to open up the rear trunk. And then inside here, this is a staple on pretty much every Ferrari now, you actually get a personalization specifications plaque on there that basically tells you what specific options your Ferrari has. So this one lists out all the specific things, what the serial number is. This one's equipped obviously with Apple CarPlay, parking sensor cameras, 20-inch forged diamond rims. That's got to be the coolest sounding name for wheels ever.
Before we move inside the car, let's take an exhaust clip.
Moving into the interior of the Roma, pretty much everything is a digital button in here. There's not many physical buttons. Pretty much everything is laid out on the steering wheel, and then when you turn the car on, it all lights up. It's like a piano black color when it's not lit up. But you get your engine start-stop on here, your headlights, your adaptive cruise control on here, your turn signals, which I always think is interesting. These Ferraris, as I'm quickly learning, have kind of unique ways of doing everything. Even the turn signals are kind of a strange button on here. And then below that, you have your controls for your screen, so you can control everything in there. And then you have your different mode selectors, so you can do your suspension modes and everything like that on here with how high and how low the car is. And then you also have your windshield wipers on here as well, which I think is really cool. Moving to the left side of the car, you have the front parking sensors on here and the rear ones, and then you also have your controls for your lights, your headlights and stuff, and that's all like a screen, and then you tap the buttons and it all lights up, which I think is just so cool, very unique. This Ferrari does have paddle shifters in here, and then the center gauge cluster is an entire screen, which is just so amazing. One of the highest quality screens I've seen in any vehicle. I think they've done an excellent job here. The climate controls are even cool. Like, when can you say a car has cool climate controls? I'll answer that question for you. Never. Never until this car right now have you ever been in a car with like cool climate controls. Basically, the vents on here are like really nicely finished. I mean, they're just absolutely fantastic on here. And then moving here, you have a screen in the center. It's following the design cues from the Ram and the Tesla model, where it's kind of like a tablet design.
Now, unfortunately, because this is a pre-production car, some of the electronics aren't working on it, like the head unit and the passenger side screen.
Below that, you have your hazard lights. That's a regular button. I guess Ferrari decided, oh, well, we don't have to go full digital with this just yet. And then you have your shifter. This is such a strange shifter in here. You have your button down here for reverse. You can do your manual with the paddle shifters in here, and then you can go up. I mean, these buttons are very unique. Ferrari seems to be pushing the envelope with how they can make a gear shifter not normal. And so that's always cool to see. And then you do have your window switches right here. So these are like little buttons you just press and the window goes up. I think that's really cool as well. The interior, pretty much for the most part, is like completely wrapped in leather and Alcantara. It's very, very nice. I absolutely love it in here. It's just so comfortable. Another cool, unique feature I found out about when I was kind of tooling around this car is, since the exterior door handles are all digital, it's like a button basically to hit those exterior door handles, the interior ones have to be a button too. So there's actually a light up button in here you press, and that actually opens the door. There's no like handle you pull or anything on there. I think that's really unique too. I haven't seen that on any other car. It may exist, but I definitely think that's a cool, unique feature. And then you do have a tiny bit of storage in here with USBs and a 12-volt AC outlet. But for the most part, you're not buying a Ferrari Roma for its storage capacity, though, as I mentioned before, you can fold those back seats down, which I do think is really, really cool. You get one cup holder in the center here, and one of the really cool, unique Ferrari touches that I absolutely love is that in the passenger seat, you actually get your own small screen in there. You can control things like the audio. You can see what the speedometer's doing. There's a lot of different settings that you can kind of tool through on there as a passenger, so you can kind of feel like you're doing something as the passenger in the vehicle, as opposed to just sitting there on your phone or whatever you'd normally be doing. On the passenger side, it is also wrapped in Alcantara. You have your Roma badge right there on the glove box, and these really cool climate vents continue to that side as well. You have a JBL audio system in here. I think that's very interesting to have the JBL in there. And additionally, I want to talk about how comfortable the seats are. They're very grippy, and the leather is just so nice. Obviously, they are power seats. One thing that I don't touch upon a lot is, I mean, even the roof, the headliner is trimmed in leather. That is not a detail you see in cars like ever. I mean, that's always an afterthought, but not for Ferrari. And then folding these down, you interestingly don't actually get a mirror that folds out here. But over here, again, continuing with the digital theme on here, there's no physical buttons up here for your dome lights. So you have the controls for the doors and everything, and all that, that's up here. That is actually a digital button. So that's something that's also really cool. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really, really appreciate it. If you could give the video a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe, that would really, really help my channel. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments. I obviously am exploring this Roma just like you guys are, And if you have any prayer requests, feel free to leave that in the comments as well. I'm a Christian, and I feel like that's the best way I could connect with my audience for you guys. And lastly, before we go, I have a daily Bible verse. Now, I never thought I was going to get this Ferrari Roma, like ever. And so my verse is, and Jesus said to them, if you can, all things are possible for one who believes. That's Mark 9:23. Take care, guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you next video.